Aloha everybody, welcome to Astrorisa Moon Forecaster. We're looking at this Tuesday, April 7th, 2020, super pink full moon, which is going to occur at 10:35 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The super pink full moon is 18 degrees Libra. It's in house 11, and the sun is 18 degrees in Aries in house 5. The ascendant is 26 degrees Scorpio. That is the first house. And so we're going to have a lot of Scorpio type experiences on a collective level. So let's look at this super full moon in Libra. This is the second super full moon that we are going to experience. The first one was last month, and that was the Virgo moon. This type of Libra moon, 18 degrees, is a challenging moon time. The archetype of Oshun is Libra. Again, this is 18 degrees, so it's requesting us to work better at handling internal and external challenges. And we all know that we're all going through many type of challenges. Now, with the moon's close proximity to Earth, that's going to magnify what is illuminating. And during this moon time, we're going to talk about 3 houses that are illuminated. That's the 11th house, the 2nd house, and the 3rd house. There are other houses that are illuminated, but we're just going to talk about these 3. Now, with the moon being in Libra, the archetype of Oshun, we might find ourselves seeking her primordial waters to refresh us during these difficult times. And even if we aren't working directly with the Orisha Oshun, this Libra moon time will direct our collective consciousness towards refreshing, rebalancing, and realigning our lives and ourselves, as some of us may feel like we're on the edge and about to lose our balance in some way. So if you're feeling like you can't take anymore, just step back, take a moment, and look at what needs to be readjusted and realigned and refreshed in your life, and give attention to that. Because this one time is going to ask you to put your needs first, especially emotional needs, so that you can readjust and realign. The numeric vibration of 18, which is the degree of this moon time, is activated. The last moon time was 19 degrees in Virgo. This one is Libra, 18 degrees, so we're counting down at this moment, and this means that it's going to have us delving deeply within our subconscious to find answers. Yet to do that correctly, the mind must be balanced in order to handle the waves of unexpected experience that will be hitting us. Again, that's that first house or the ascendant Scorpio. So a lot is going to be coming at us, a lot of beginnings and a lot of endings simultaneously. The first house of which I'm talking about, which is the ascendant, again in Scorpio, that is the archetype of Oya. So serious changes and transformations are happening. There's also an awakening and realizations are going on. And not only externally, but internally. Therefore, our minds and emotions must again be in balance. The ascendant Scorpio is 26 degrees. That means it's a highly competitive and combative and intuitive energy. This is where our collective consciousness is operating from during this time. So that gives you an indication as to why I keep saying we are going to be required to bring our heart, our emotions, and our head into balance. Let's talk about a couple of these moon transits, or I would say moon aspects that are activated during this moon time. We have the moon squaring Pluto. Pluto is the planet that rules Scorpio. So there's a lot of scorpionic, Plutonian, if that's the right word, and Oya type energy with this Libra moon time. So moon square Pluto is very ambitious and it's confident. If these emotional needs aren't met under this aspect during this moon time, some people will struggle with self-control and rationality because their needs for achievement or a vigorous livelihood and their success is being delayed. So having to rely on others is going to be problematic for some of these people, and they're going to feel a sense of loss. So if you're connecting with that particular energy of Moon square Pluto, just understand that if you're feeling helpless, it's because that Moon square Pluto is very magnified for you, and that's something that you might want to work on during this moon time to alleviate those feelings, okay? And maybe looking at the glass half full or as opposed to half empty. You have to change your mindset with that Moon square Pluto energy. Another aspect of this Moon square Pluto is passionate, it's tireless, and it's also queenly. And I say queenly because of the strong feminine energies of the Moon and Pluto when it's associated with Oya. And we know again that Oya is associated with Pluto, though Pluto is also masculine. So we're looking at our thoughts, right? So therefore thoughts about our careers and business, aka the marketplace, positions, and even our projects are on the forefront of many of our minds. It's all about what's in our mind. The moon is not just about our emotions, but it's also about our mind. So when we can't move and flow or work and grow like we're used to, this particular lunar aspect can have us feeling ruthless. We must be mindful and take care with how we're approaching and handling difficult situations under the Moon square Pluto aspect to avoid deep regret. Another particular energy of this Moon square Pluto can be tricky and can take advantage of a person or situation in order to get what it feels is rightfully theirs or what belongs to itself. And it will convince itself its actions, no matter how foul, are justified. So this is not an aspect to take lightly. And when the moon is residing in Libra as it is right now, the pendulum is going to swing from self-destruction to self-preservation with the aspect of Moon square Pluto. So how we are handling this aspect will be up to how balanced we are during this moon time. The other aspect of the moon is the moon squares Jupiter. With the moon in Libra and then Jupiter being 25 degrees in the sign of Capricorn in house 2 at this moon time, the moon square Jupiter will have a strong concern about its finances and holding on to its possessions. If you're connecting to this aspect during this moon time, again, money and resources are on the mind. This aspect during this moon time is about your personal wealth and values. Try not to be overly concerned about loss. Instead, use this moon time to do money or prosperity ceremonies like our fill 'em up ceremony to enhance what you already have or at least to stabilize it. Now, last year during our annual reading, Oshun advised us to start making money baths to take us through 2019 and into 2020. When the moon is in Libra, perform money ceremonies to stabilize your finances. Unless the moon is full or like now a super full moon, then it can expand your finances. When the moon is in Taurus, make money baths to increase your finances. Talking about those houses, remember I said that we have 3 houses I'm going to talk about during this moon time. House 11, 2, and 3, which are heavily influenced during this time. Pay attention to the areas which are ruled by these houses for the next 28 days. So I'm going to go over those areas of our lives that are ruled by these houses from mundane astrology. So currently the moon is in house 11. And in mundane astrology, this house rules income, gains, and future plans. It also rules friendly international alliances. It also rules parliament, government, town and country councils, and similar bodies. It rules friends of the nations, legislation, and the welfare state, just to name a few. And Libra rules foreign affairs, wars, treaties, and agreements. So for the next 28 days, pay attention to all those areas I mentioned and see how it is going to be influenced during that time. House 2, which is ruled by Taurus, another archetype of Oshun, is strongly influenced because the moon is squaring both Jupiter and Pluto in this house, and I've talked about those aspects. In mundane astrology, the second house deals with national wealth. In regular astrology, it deals with your personal wealth. For the second house, it deals with status and, to a degree, relationships within a country and with its neighbors. It also rules the purchasing power of the people, financial stability, national income, strength of currency, budget, and balance of trade. The second house influences national wealth, revenue, and all prices and activities concerned with making money, such as banks, the stock exchange, financial institutions, money markets, and trade. And remember, we're having Moon conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter expands loss or gain. So we're having some issues in those areas that I mentioned for House 2. Pay attention to the news and pay attention to your own profits during that time, during the next 28 days. House 3, which is ruled by Gemini, an air sign, is the archetype of the great communicator or Libra. In mundane astrology, House 3 rules inland transport of all forms of travel and communication. It rules the dissemination of news and information, the post office, communication networks, even technical support, news media, internet, telephones, faxes, newspapers, magazines, and also neighboring nations. The third house rules leadership, the communication with the public, and it governs authors, philosophers, philosophical thought, literature, and literary people. Currently, House 3 is in the air sign of Aquarius. Now, there are no aspects between the moon and House 3, but Venus, the planet associated with the Libra and Oshun, is trining two planets in House 3, and that's Mars and Saturn. So let's look at these last two aspects dealing with Venus, because we are talking about Libra. So Venus is going to trine Saturn. This aspect likes stability in relationships, partnerships, and honesty and commitment. During the moon time, many of us will experience situations where our relationships abruptly becomes out of balance, but can quickly right itself, or we let issues roll off our back. Therefore, under this aspect during this moon time, some of you will literally wake up and not give a beep anymore about how a specific individual or relationship is moving. It's not that you're done completely, but you just have had an aha moment about the entire situation, and basically you feel good. Venus trine Mars, now that enjoys socializing, being outside, and active sport. But we can't do that right now, can we? So this aspect can bring great rewards due to hard work, teamwork, and meeting one's accomplishments. Though we can't initiate the Venus trine Mars in its usual way, which means physically getting together, we're connecting with this Venus trine Mars. So we're going to find a way to make it happen. So many of us can find ourselves doing a lot of Zooming, Skyping, FaceTiming. You're coming up with ideas to do group conversations, connecting with family during this moon time, because we have a need to connect and enjoy each other's company. So with all that being said, and time to make your money baths and time to connect with each other. Work with this moon time to create the balance and stability of all things in your life for the next 28 days. And remember to know your truest self, follow the moon. I'll see you during the next full moon time, everyone. Take care.